Hi, it's Jez here from Nigezza.co.uk. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a gift bag. Now, if you watch me on Pinterest, you might, not Pinterest, Instagram, you might have seen this bag a couple of weeks ago that I made at the team retreat. And if you watch the lovely Angelina from Intertwined Designs, you might recognise this as one of her designs, and Angelina did do a make and take for us, and I've watched her make this bag before and thought, oh, I really like it, I might do it, and I never got round to it, so I was delighted to do it on the retreat. So what I've done is I've come back home and I've looked at it and I've thought I'm going to make it smaller. So this is retired stuff, so I like to make a prototype out of retired stuff, so it's the same but smaller, and this one's got Velcro dots to fasten it, and I have used some magnets on mine because I don't have any Velcro dots. Well, I do, the ones I have are rubbish, so that's what I've done. And then I thought, do you know what, I'm sure I can make it smaller. So I did. I made a little teeny weeny one. I've got these Velcro squares, not dots. But I'm actually thinking I'm going to do that again, but with a magnet as well. So yeah, there we are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make the little one and then the teeny one. Okay, because Angelina's already done that, so there's no point in doing it again. I did check with her that it was okay to show you my resizing. She said she'd made them bigger but never made one smaller. So there we go. So what you need, I'm going to do a little Christmassy one. So I'm using the lovely DSP Joyous Noel and some Merry Merlot cardstock. And I, apart from the handles, I got both bags out of one piece of A4 cardstock and just a little corner bit strip left of DSP, not much DSP at all. Let me show you underneath here, because it was a funny shaped scrap. That's what you need. So that's 6 inches wide, so not quite half a sheet, maybe 2/3 of a sheet. No, a third of a sheet. Oh, maths and me. Right, this is my little workbook to sort things out. We'll put that to one side. So these are 3 by 3. So you need 3 bits of 3 by 3 DSP, but we don't need them just yet. And then what I've got here is 2 bits for the sides of the bag, and they are 3 inches by 4 inches. This is 8 inches by 3 inches, and this is 3 by 3. And then the handle is 1/2 inch by 4 1/4 inches. I did make my prototype with a 3/4 inch one, but I just made it out of scrap. When I'm cutting my cardstock down to the layers, I end up with like a full strip like this, and that's what I used. So I think that will be enough. Okay, right, let's get on with it. Stop blabbering and let's get on with it. As ever, all the measurements will be over on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. So let's get the scoring done. So on the base, you're going to score on the long side, and you're going to score at 3 and then 5. On the 2 side bits, you are going to score on the long side at 1 inch, and then on the short side you're going to score at 1/2 inch and then 2.5 inches, or you could do 1/2 inch from each side. So 1 inch, 1/2 inch, oh, don't jump, 1/2 inch, 2.5 inches. Yeah, I'm just gonna set that the other way. That's it, nearly gone. And then on the flap, because it's 3 by 3, you're going to score at 3/4 and then 1 3/4. And that is all the scoring. But what I am going to do, I will score again, is I'm going to stick the 3 by 3 to the top of that and then score it again. Actually, what I found was really quite weird about doing this project was that the DSP sticks exactly to the cardstock. Was normally we leave a little bit of a mat, and of course it works because you've got the cardstock on the side, but when you're doing it, it just feels a little bit odd. So let's go back over the scoring, 3/4 and 1 3/4. There we go. That just makes it a little bit easier for folding it. Oh, crash bang, wallop, what a picture. Right, so we're just going to fold and burnish, and I'm looking now for my bone folder. Got a different one. I don't like this one as much, but I'm not quite sure where the other one's gone. Do you know, maybe I ought to buy 2. I ought to get another one so that I've got one over when I film and one over where I design. That might be the way forward. I thought I'd been really good and got absolutely everything that I needed. Just realised I need to do a bit of scoring on the handle. I'll do that in a sec. Right. And what we're going to do with these sides is to give it its bit of a curve. Just use your bone folder to curve those edges. And it just helps the bag form a bit nicer. So it breaks the fibres in the paper, the cardstock. And then it will gently go around quite nicely. Okay, so we need my scissors. I failed to bring those across as well. I'll have to, oh, there my snips. They were hiding under my book. Right, so we're going to cut down this straight edge here on the other side of the score line, and then we're going to cut up a wedge there and a wedge there. So we'll do the same up there, and then we'll wedge, and then we'll wedge. Do the same on this side. There we go. And then we are going to get the corner rounder, and I'm going to round the corners on these. I remember when I first saw Angelina make these, she used the gift bag punch board to cut this sort of corner, and it gave it ever such a lovely look. I really liked it. There we go, round those off nicely. And then we're going to start sticking it together. Now I'm going to stick the panels on now before I put it together. You don't have to. As a matter of fact, every time I've assembled it, I've put the panels on after, but actually I think it might be slightly easier to do it this way. But now I've just realised, no, I can't. So this is going to be the back, and that's going to be the front. And actually, I need to stick the magnets on. So can't do that. So that's the back. So put some glue on here, and that's going to stick to there. Like so. Give it a few seconds to adhere. Same on this side. Where's my veil folder gone? Went a bit quiet then, didn't I? It was concentrating. I was actually thinking of the step ahead. There we go. And then a bit of glue down these sides. So adhere that to there. Same on this side. Oh. I did do it with fast fuse in practice. I don't know why I'm not doing it with fast fuse now, because that would be quicker. Oh. There we go. Then I'm going to put some Tombow on this bit. So the smaller flap is the back, and that is going to be stuck down. and then this bit is going to be the front. So I'm going to attach some magnets. So we're going to make some fake buttons. So out of the little bits of scrap that were left over, I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch circle. I'm going to cut 2, and then out of a bit of copper foil, I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch circle, and that's going to be the centre of my buttons. And then I'm going to get some glue dots, and I'm going to take my magnets and I'm going to stick it to the top here, about where I want the magnet to be. Could of course stick this underneath the DSP. I'm going to stick a glue dot on the top of each magnet as well. And I'm going to get a bit of foam, and I'm just going to work this button around a little bit. So that it fits over. I'm going to put a bit of glue on it as well, so that it curves over there. These are the little foam mats that come out of the caddy that you get to put your blocks in. I use my caddy if I'm going to somebody's house to do a craft class or a one-to-one, or if I'm going on like a team retreat like I did the other weekend, and then I know that I've got them all my ink acrylic blocks in one place. But where the acrylics box go, you have these, so I've got loads of different shapes and sizes of these pads, which are really useful if you're doing a little bit of stamping. And you're not carrying your big stamp mat with you. And then I'm just going to stick that on, oops, the top. So it looks like I've got big metal buttons. Oozed a bit that it will come off. Right, and then I'm going to get my magnets, stick to the other side. These are really, really strong magnets. They're so strong I'm struggling with my hand there that was off camera to get it off. And then we're going to put a glue dot on the back of each one. And then we're going to fold this over so that it's in the right place. push it into place, and then that's your magnet fastening done. So now we can stick the DSP on there. I'm going to put a glue top on the top of each magnet to give it extra adhesion. Oops. I absolutely love magnetic closures. I love the sound of it. It just gives me pleasure to hear that sound of it closing. And I just think it adds a little bit of something extra to the gift. I also like the ripping sound of Velcro as well. So both fastenings are cool in my book. It's like when I used to dressmate with my mum or make curtains. She was one of these who would snip the fabric at the top and then just like pull it, and then it would just rip in a straight line, and I was absolutely fascinated by that as a child, and I just loved that sound, and I think that's why I like the sound of Velcro ripping, because it kind of reminds me of those happy childhood moments with my mum sewing together. I used to do a lot of sewing. When I was a teenager, I made all of my clothes out of sheets, out of curtains, out of altered old clothes. I'd go through my dad mainly, my dad's wardrobe, and nick some of his old stuff and alter it and wear it. They did despair of me. It was the 80s, what can I say? So that's the bag, beautiful, and that lovely little clip. Love it. And then we have the handle. Now I do need to just score on the handle. Score at 1/2 inch. Is it 1/2 inch from inside? I'm going to check here now. I've already done one thing wrong. Yeah, 1/2 inch from each side. So 1/2 inch and 4 inches. That's it. Give it a fold over. Give it a bit of a burnish. And then it is actually a bit narrower now, so this next step, there might be a reason why it's narrower, but normally wider. So this one, 3/4 of an inch wide, and can you see that beautiful effect at the end, which I just think is genius, and that is using everyday label punch, and it's just poking this up the end to get it, but this is actually it's not going to have those flat bits on the corner, because on the edges, because it's just going to round it, because it's actually not as wide. So that's one of the downsides of not making it 3/4. If it was 3/4 of an inch, it would have the ends properly, but that's cool. I'm happy with that. Okay, and then just use your bone folder to round the edges, and then that's going to stick on the top. So I'm going to get a bit of Tombow, splodge on either end, and I'm going to stick that fairly close to the edge there, and also on the other side, and then hold them in place. And then to finish it off, going to get my half circle and I'm going to cut another 2 little copper circles to act like buttons on the top there. And I'm going to stick those on with glue dots. And there we have it. That is a smaller version of that. How cute is that? So let's do the teeny tiny one. So the teeny tiny one, if I show you the measurements, and then I might do a little bit of speedy up, because you've already seen me put it together and it is the same thing. So your base is 5 inches by 2 inches. The two sides are 2 inches by 2 3/4 inch. You've got a spare bit. Oh, that's the flap. That's 2 by 2. And then we've got a handle here, which is 1/2 inch by 4 inches. We've got a piece of that spare. We've got 3 bits of DSP, which are 2 by 2. Okay, and our scoring, everything will be on my blog as usual. So the scoring here is two and 3. The scoring on the 2 side bits, that's 1/2 inch on both sides. So that's at 1/2 and 1 1/2. And then this is at 3/4. Repeat, 3/4, 1/2, 1 1/2, and then let's do the flap, which is 1/2 inch and 1 1/4. And we're going to score here at 1/2 inch and 3 1/2 inches. And of course we need to stick this down and then score again. And the difference with this one is that I'm going to glue this underneath because there's not a lot of room. So that flap is going to get glued on the bottom. Probably put a bit too much glue on that. And there it is. That's the little mini box. So how cute are they? Lovely little, you could put jewellery in that, nice little gift box there. You can get a bit more in that. And you can of course make it in the original size if you want to. So all the details on my blog, nigezza.co.uk. I might try and find that one and link it to you for you in the blog as well if you want to see Angeluna's original one, and then you might be able to find the one where she's made it bigger again. Okay, thank you for joining me. See you again soon.